And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Prospects of the Land, part of the Baseball Banter broadcast. I'm Ethan Greenberg. Alongside of me, Taven McCulley and Nate Bope. Welcome back. Thank you for joining in. It is Sunday night. And no, this is not ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. In fact, there will be no ESPN Sunday Night Baseball this season and going forward. It's going to be on NBC. Are we going to have to listen to Bob Costas, or are they going to get somebody real to do the game?
Oh, who was on that broadcast team? I just saw this the other day.
Lesh Manku?
Why can't I think? I'm going to look it up.
Harry Doyle? It's Harry Doyle.
No Joe
Buck. Can't say that on the air. We got. No, it doesn't matter. No one's listening anyway.
No Joe Buck.
No, because he's a Fox guy. As long as it's not Bob Costas talking about Livan Hernandez during the '97 World Series, I'll be okay. Right? I mean, you guys.
It literally is Bob Costas too.
Oh, are you BS? Please tell me you step in the studio. Please tell me.
No, it's Bob Costas. All right, let me see. He's the host. He's the host, so he'll be the studio host.
Okay, as long
and
as
then Jason Benetti's your lead play-by-play guy.
Oh, Benetti,
which I love.
Okay,
I love Benetti. Jason Benetti.
I can't say I'm familiar with his work, but hey, as long as it's not Bob Costas, we're all right.
Bob Costas is the studio host, so just don't watch the pre-post game show.
I won't. I won't pain myself with that, fellas. So it's all good. Sorry to start things out on a joking mood, but you know what? That's what I'm here for. I'm here for a little bit of levity in this serious business we're talking about here. It's Guardians baseball. It's the week of opening day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so excited.
Wow. We're here.
Well, so by the way, I do have to say, I'm looking at this thing out. Clayton Kershaw, Joey Votto, and Anthony Rizzo are all going to be on there. I'm going to be watching a lot of Sunday Night Baseball. I love all three of those guys.
What? Oh, yeah. Kershaw did retire, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. He went. But Anthony Rizzo, really? Rizzo?
I like Rizzo.
I have a thing against him. I'm sorry. I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I do too, but.
All right. Well, he's going to have to win me over. He's going to have to win me over. Let's put it that way. All right?
All right. No, that's fair.
All right. That is fair enough. Guys, are you pumped up for opening day? Are you ready? I mean, was the WBC, did that whet your appetite? Are you ready to go?
I couldn't be more excited.
How about you, Nate? You pumped?
Hey, WBC was fun. I mean, it really was fun. Good for Venezuela. You got to feel good for all of those guys.
Absolutely.
That's one of those countries to where they took America's pastime, molded it into their game, and you saw all of the energy in the WBC with Venezuela and Italy and so on and so forth. I'm so hyped for opening day. The Guardians got a really tough road to kick things off, but man, we're just so happy to have baseball back. Thank you to Jeremy Laraquente for tuning in, giving us this opportunity to be part of his network as well. Later on this week, boys, we'll figure out a time and go through our state of the franchise with Jeremy. So we'll figure out a time to do that later on.
Wait. I've got a state. Is it Ohio? Franchise, state of the franchise.
All right. We can move on really fast. All right. Well, there's a ton to talk about today, boys. I mean, I'm not really sure where we all want to start. So what are we
Jones.
feeling?
I want to talk about Nolan Jones.
Okay, so Taven, why don't you just throw up what I got there then? So we're going a little old school with the graphic. Whoa, old school. Hey, I know.
DOS 3.1 called it once it's a floppy disk back.
Hey, look, man, it works. It's clean, and everyone can see it. All right. So,
well, wait a second. Whoa, are we talking about a spreadsheet? All right, go on.
This is not a spreadsheet, bro. It's just a notes app on my phone. I just threw this together. Okay, we do know a lot of the pieces that are going to be starting in AAA Columbus. First and foremost, Nolan Jones, folks. He's not even on the 40-man roster.
Good. Thank God.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Nolan Jones. That's totally fine with me. And then Travis Pisana is down there as well. So, Taven, if you want to take it away for a second, we'll bring the panel back up. Let's talk about those two guys first, and we'll get to some of the other names there on the list. So, Nolan Jones, let's start with him, because I think to a lot of people on the outside, that might be a little bit of a surprise. But on the inside, you just saw all of our reactions. Good riddance. Kick the guy to the curb, get him out of here. He actually could have gone to free agency if he wanted to. He said, nah, I'm fine playing baseball in Columbus and not on the 40-man. So maybe if they really need someone, they'll call him up, but they're putting him in Columbus, I think, with the idea to let him figure his stuff out. And honestly, they tried to dump him. So who knows?
I think it's the best thing you could have done. I mean, obviously, you saw all of our reactions. The dude's no good. It pains me why they even re-signed him in the first place. Obviously, you're still holding on to that little bit of hope that you saw in that one miraculous year that he had in Colorado. But, I mean, the guy's done absolutely nothing since he's gotten here. He's not great in the field. He can't hit to save his life, it seems like. And like Nate said, I mean, he could have became a free agent, but nobody wanted him, so obviously he was going to take that outright to Columbus. I think that was the only obvious move that, would have worked for Nolan Jones. So obviously it's a great thing. There's obviously no room for him in that outfield or anywhere on the team. All around great move, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about him having one miraculous year, and in Colorado, in the elevation, in the thin air. I don't know what was going on out there, but maybe he looked good on a bad team, on a really bad team and a bad organization. And now they've got Paul DePodesta out there to fix them and make them worse again. If they really can be any worse, I'm not sure. But the fact that, what am I looking at here on his stats? 152 in spring training, 1 home run, 6 RBI. So he was, 5 for 33.
And keep in mind, that's against minor league guys as well. These aren't starting pitchers in the major leagues.
No.
These are minor league pitchers for most of the games.
Even it gets worse. Oh, but it gets worse. 3 walks and 14 strikeouts.
Oh.
Almost half of his at-bats resulted in a strikeout. 14 of 33, almost half. You got to be kidding me. Hit the curb. You can go and hang out with John Kenzie somewhere. You guys can swing and a miss, at a batting cage near somebody else.
I saw John Kenzie had a grand slam, I think, yesterday.
He did. He had a grand slam.
Was that against the Pee Wee League pitcher?
I think
he threw a fastball. It certainly wasn't a curveball. Straight ball I hit very much. Curveball, not so much. Help me now. I say, and you know the rest.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a fantastic thing for the Guardians because you move a guy down that just wasn't really going to produce. He was more of a serviceable piece when you needed someone to play in the outfield. And I mean, we'll get to the outfield for the Guardians. We have a pretty good idea of who's going to end up making the 26-man roster because there's a notable name not on that AAA Columbus list. But yeah, I mean, just moving him down again. If someone gets hurt, you probably have to bring him up. Although I would think they would give Petey Halpin a shot before. Look, man, I'm thinking logistically. I want to give Petey Halpin a shot before they bring Nolan Jones up. Knowing this organization, I'm not saying that's what they do, but again, we also have a guy that's going to start from the outfield on the IL. So, but yeah, Nolan Jones has been, for lack of better terminology, a waste of space and has not produced. And for what we have said before, I mean, looked good on a bad Colorado team, and this terminology has not been thrown out there yet, in the most hitter-friendly ballpark in the major leagues. Ethan, you mentioned the thin air, but I figured I would throw out that terminology in case people didn't know. I
appreciate that. That is absolutely a much better description of what I was trying to say. So kudos to you. You win the award for that one. I have failed miserably.
Okay. Well, now let's talk about Travis Pisana, because he's going to be starting in AAA Columbus, which I don't really think is a surprise to many people. However, it feels like a little bit of a disappointment.
That's an understatement.
I'm not surprised by it, but I am disappointed.
I think it's tough to be disappointed when, personally, I expected this 100%, so I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. Same. I'm more disappointed in not the decision that was made, it's because of why it's being made, if that makes sense. I mean, we've talked about it, I'm pretty sure every single episode for the last 2 months. It's that service manipulation. It obviously, it starts at the top with, Mr. Dolan, and that's the root of the problem, right? And, when you don't have the money to pay the certain guys, you're going to see this with a lot of these small market teams. And Travis Bazzana, unfortunately, I believe from a talent standpoint alone, he would be on this 26-man roster. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He'd be on the team. But it's that manipulation with the small markets. And obviously you've seen guys from the same draft class like Jack Caglione. He's been up with the big leagues, with the Royals, and he's been thriving. And I think Bazzana would do the same exact thing, obviously if given that chance. But I think we're going to have to wait a little bit more just to see him up there. I do think it will 100% be this year if he stays healthy. But we're going to have to wait a couple months.
That's the key. As long as he can stay healthy. I hope he doesn't, start having injury problems a la Chase DeLauder. I'm sure we'll get to him a little bit later and as we go through the roster. But I just hope for our sake that Travis Bazzana gets an opportunity. It's going to take a while. We know that guys, what do they say? Like it could take 100, 200 at bat, to kind of really get used to the major league level. So it may not be instant success, but we need to see him. If he was worth the number 1 overall pick, I need to see him. And I don't know what all the implications are. I know Mike from the UK who is watching and commenting. Do you guys, our understanding and his understanding is that we can get an extra service here if he stays down just a few weeks.
And that's right. And that's right.
Yeah. And so the fact that you are, when you use the word, what are you doing? Oh, I'm manipulating the numbers. You say that in any sense, form, or fashion, and that just is instant anger.
Keep in mind, no other sport, NFL, NBA, this is not even thought of with your rookies and high draft picks.
No. Dude, college is even doing this now. Look at the kid that just won the 133-pound weight class for Oklahoma State at the wrestling championships up in Cleveland. Jax Forrest was wrestling for high school. He was wrestling for his high school team in 2025, and then at the turn of the calendar flipped and wrestled in college, went undefeated, won a national championship.
All right, I don't even. My head just exploded when we started with that, and I'm not gonna even go down that road. But
that's to say, like, again, that just exemplifies Taven's point that, like, look, this is even happening in college sports. We've seen this so often where players will reclassify in football to be involved in spring camp. Like, that is the biggest college example. Like, nobody else does this. I know that the NFL has this time thing where you got to play 3 years in college. That's about as close as you get to being service time. You have to have 3 years of service time in college before you can get called up to get your name drafted to the NFL. But even then, it's not like they get drafted to the NFL and then they hold them on the practice squad and then bring them up. Like, they play.
Exactly. I don't even know. This is absolutely crazy. All right. I know Mike's asking, and I'm sure we'll get to it. You guys have the list there. Rhys Hoskins.
We'll get to it.
All right, so Mike, hold your horses. We will get to you. Mike in the UK, we will get to the Rhys Hoskins thing. And yes, I am. And we'll get around our trade of Kai Boom. We're going to have a discussion about try and figure out what they did with said cash that we got in exchange for Mr. Kai Boom from Philadelphia.
All right, are we good with Travis Bazzana? Again, we'll get there. I know Ethan's, so we'll get there. We'll get there. Do we have anything else to say on Travis Bazzana?
I'll give him a Vegemite sandwich when he comes up here. He and Matthew Dellavedova can hang out.
Okay, I have one more thing to say. His WBC performance was electric. And if that's the guy that we're going to be bringing into the organization, I would assume at some point this year, sign me up, man. Sign me up.
That, and I mean, I think he's, catapulted that into, spring training when he got back. I mean, yesterday the dude hit 2 home runs, one being a grand slam. So he's on fire.
This is why the term disappointing comes
Yeah.
to mind a little bit.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Taven, throw all this back up here. We will talk about the third biggest name here, and that's the one that you see right at the top in Logan Allen. So, obviously, somebody had to be left out of this starting rotation. It looked, again, as if it was between Cantillo and Allen for that final starting spot. You see Allen is here. That obviously shows you where Cantillo is going to be. But let's talk about Logan Allen very, very briefly. I mean, 2 or 3 minutes. Surprise, shock to me. I mean, not really. One of the two was going to get left out. And, I mean, Cantillo's numbers have looked better.
I mean, from the way it was looking, I think we were all between Allen or Cantillo, but I think from the front office's standpoint, I think it was between Messick and, Logan Allen on who was going to get that final spot, because Messick was the last one to figure that out. I want to say 2 or 3 days ago, I saw the notification. They informed him that he was obviously making the team. I thought Messick was a no doubt. He was your easy number 4 starting rotation guy. And then that leaves you obviously with Cantillo and, Logan Allen. And it was either which one did you want? I think essentially they're the same guy, right? Either could be a long reliever from the bullpen. I think Cantillo is obviously a little younger. He has a little more upside. I think that's why you ended up, really going with him. Logan Allen struggled within spring training. So I think ultimately it was the right decision, right? You go Joey Cantillo, and I want to say they both have options left. So even, say 3-4 weeks into the season, Cantillo's struggling, you're always able to make that switch back to Logan Allen.
Yeah, Logan Allen, what a it's been kind of
Do you have his stat line in front of you?
I can't get his stat line in front of me, but I know that he had given up 10 runs. He gave up, I don't know how many of them were earned. 10 runs in the second inning in his start the other day. And then they brought him back out.
I'll tell you Go ahead.
No, and he's still getting whacked all over the yard, and it was absolutely horrible. Oh wait, does Mike have the? He's getting Mike from the UK is.
I was going to say, because I got it right in front of me too. That's why I asked. Sorry,
I
Mike.
was looking and I couldn't find it. As we were talking, but
nope,
he has absolutely been disappointing. I mean, the fact that he went down last year too, and he never. I mean, it's kind of. I don't know what the problem is, that he's not consistent enough and he's going to get passed by, and we're seeing it happen. It's the nature of the beast. He's not as disappointing as it was when the wheels fell off for Tristan McKenzie. That was even more disappointing. This is less of a shock or disappointment, but these other guys have got to step up. You talk about Cantillo, you talk about guys like Messick. They've got to step into that role. We cannot be having guys, constantly, like every 5th start, be like trying to throw a bullpen game, essentially, where we're praying to get 3 innings out of a starter. I hope that's not the case. We just can't have it. So I don't know if you've got the stat line, go for it.
Yeah. So he's got an 1.8 ERA. We call that in math an 18 ERA over 10 innings, 25 hits. 20 runs, they all have been earned, has allowed 4 homers, 9 strikeouts to only 8 walks. The whip is high. He's allowing opponents to basically get 1 hit for every 2 at-bats. And I mean, you look at Cantillo's numbers by comparison, they still have not been fantastic. He's got a 7.2 ERA, but it is much better than Logan Allen.
Yep. And Mike, thank you from over 18 ERA over 10 innings. That's horrific. Yeah. Absolutely horrific, and I think, as Mike said, Logan Allen should have gotten the Nolan Jones treatment, but I think eventually he's going to figure it out, or obviously he'll be gonzo. It's just I know that's kind of a stupid Captain Obvious statement, but I'm going with the latter, which is I think he'll be gonzo.
All right, Taven, throw this list back up. A lot of other names to discuss that are up here. Cody Hoyer is obviously a pitcher that we had signed, bringing on here. He'll start in AAA Columbus with the hopes that, he might get up into the bullpen at some point. Hoyer was garnering interest from some other teams, which led the Guardians to keeping on to him, putting him down in Columbus, keeping him on the 40-man. Petey Halpin, Juan Brito, J-Rod or Jonathan Rodriguez are some other notable names that will be starting the year in Columbus. Angel Yanao, Khalil Watson from some position player standpoint, and then you got these pitchers, right? Franco Alaman, Daniel Espino, Doug Nikhazy, Yorman Gomez, Austin Peterson, Pedro Avila. This obviously is not going to be the Columbus Clippers opening roster. There are plenty more spots to fill, but we'll give the floor first to Taven, then Ethan, then I'll finish it out. Who on this list surprises you that they're starting the year in Columbus, or anything else of note?
I mean, I don't think really there's anything that surprises me per se. I mean, Avila obviously had a solid chance to go out there and, make the starting lineup or fill a spot in that bullpen, but obviously that didn't end up happening. A lot of these guys really struggled throughout the spring. I mean, Jonathan Rodriguez has struggled for, I want to say, the last year and a half. Juan Brito, he had a really rough spring, in my opinion, from the games that I'd watch. Just not even in the batter's box, in the field as well. You could see him struggling. Espino, another guy you'd like to see get up here just because of, how long we've had him. But I mean, obviously there's still more to learn, stuff for him to learn how to stay healthy down in AAA. So, I mean, nothing really shocked me. Petey Halpin, another guy who I thought maybe could have a chance to make that opening day rotation in the outfield. But again, a lot of talented guys now in that outfield with, Kafis and obviously you got Quan and Valera and DeLauder. So not really a spot for him. So, I mean, nothing really per se that shocks me. Just guys that maybe we would hope maybe had a better spring and maybe be able to crack a spot in that lineup.
Yeah, we obviously we already talked about Nolan Jones. We talked about Travis Bazzana and Logan Allen, of course. I think that there were, prior to injuries, we were really seeing Juan Brito, as being potentially a major part of the infield for the Guardians. Obviously, injuries kind of derailed him a little bit right now, but hey, I'm certain there'll be a chance we'll see him up here. I have my favorite, of these guys, at least in the field. I'm looking at Petey Halpin. I've been on him. I really loved the energy he brought last year. Called up for the wild card series, or that he was up, and he's got the speed. I do like that as a possibility out there. I could, J-Rod. Nah, all right, you've struggled enough for me. You can you can hang out down in Columbus, have fun times down there. But yeah, I think that out of those guys, obviously Daniel Espino. I mean, that's a big story. I mean, it would be great to get him up to the bigs and get him pitching. And obviously injuries have been an issue for him. So, but I think Halpin probably off that list is kind of, and it's not a surprise that he didn't make the major league club, the major league roster, but would be nice to get him up here and have him contribute and fire up the offense, potentially be a spark.
Yeah, apart from the top three guys there, I mean, of course, Petey Halpin's the one that's going to stand out. I love his speed on the base paths. I think that's going to be a big thing if he can see some time at the major league level this year. And he gets on base, right? So not a guy that you're like, well, if he gets on base, no, he'll get on base, and then using his speed on the base pass will give the Guardians something that they don't necessarily have a ton of this year. Of course, Ramirez is going to be there. Quan's going to be there. Some other guys, but Petey Halpin would be nice to see up there. I'd like to see Juan Brito up there at some point if he can remain healthy. But let's talk about this from a Columbus standpoint too, right? Let's throw the AAA team into the mix. You're going to have a starting rotation that consists of Nikhazy, Gomez, Peterson, Alaman, Espino can rotate in and out of there from the bullpen to the starting rotation. Pedro Avila can be an innings eater that you would honestly think could be a AAA starter. A guy that I really like there is Austin Peterson. I've liked him ever since I saw him in Akron. So talking about this briefly from the Columbus perspective, I like this opening roster a lot, maybe apart from Nolan Jones, but the Clippers have had a ton of talent and they've struggled in recent years. So I like this opening roster for Columbus. Again, more guys are going to be added on to this for sure. But again, kind of like Taven said, not a surprise to me that these guys were not on the major roster. Again, the only one that from an outside perspective would be Nolan Jones. We're all here saying good riddance. But otherwise, I mean, I like the list. I like what's going on here. So,
yep.
Cool. We do have some names that we know for sure are going to be starting on the IL. At least we're pretty sure that they are. So here they are right here. I'll actually crop it out so it's a little bit better to see. Again, we're going old school technology.
I love it. I do like it. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's crisp. It's clean.
Again, everyone can see it. So starting on the IL for the Guardians, most likely will be George Valera, Hunter Gaddis, and then in order to make the extra 40-man roster spot, this is where I was going to hit on this. In order to make the extra 40-man roster spot for Rhys Hoskins, Andrew Walters could be thrown on the 60-day to help him in his recovery off of Tommy John from last year. So those are the names that I would like to see starting on the IL. Valera, let's get him healthy, get him in the outfield. Gaddis is obviously going to be a huge setup guy in this bullpen when he gets healthy. And then Walters, same thing. I mean, the kid was spectacular throughout the minor leagues and has yet to really kick off the major league career fully yet. He'll get a chance to do that when he comes back healthy. Taven?
Yeah, I mean, Valera on the IL, it's, if anybody, this is a shocker, it shouldn't be, right? I mean, this has been his home essentially for the last 5 years. They're
going to rename it after him, the George Valera IL.
It sucks, but I mean,
instead of putting guys on the IL, we'll put them on the GV list.
The GV list, but it sucks. Obviously, it's nothing huge. It's not Tommy John. It's not, nothing broken. He should be back fairly quick, right? Gaddis that's a big one, right? Big loss. I don't really know 100% what he did, but it sucks, obviously, having your second best bullpen arm, in my opinion, being on the IR to start the list after you already lost your best one being Class A last year. You've got Cade Smith, who has been, I mean, absolutely phenomenal, and then Gaddis. That was your three-headed monster, and you've got one of them to start the year. So we'll see how this bullpen can hold up. And like you said, I mean, if you put Walters on there, I don't know if he currently – did you say he currently is, or that's what you would do?
No. That's what you'd want to do to open the 40-man roster for Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, obviously, instead of sending somebody down, you just put Walters on there. So, yeah, I like that move. And, just got to get the other two guys back healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I just, the only comment I could really say on that is, obviously the Hunter Gaddis thing that hits hard, that hurts. He is a key, and God forbid I have to watch Matt Festa. I'm going to lose my mind.
You didn't watch any of your boy in the WBC?
Why couldn't we send him out with Nolan Jones?
All right, gentlemen, it's time that we look at this Cleveland Guardians roster, and we start, of course, with the starting rotation. If I could spell.
Rotatium? What's a rotatium?
Well, we're about to figure out right now, because the rotatium for the Guardians this year is looking as such. Of course, the four guys that we all know, Bybee, Williams, Ciccone, and Cantillo. Parker Messick going to be out there as well. So that's your starting rotation. Now, the starting rotation is not without its flaws, and I know one of these panel members is going to discuss that pretty well in depth here in a second. But Gavin Williams has looked good in the spring, looked good earlier today. Of course, everybody has kind of had their struggles. Slade Ciccone has been really good this spring, under 2.5 ERA, looking really good out there. Parker Messick has had a 3.6, pretty good in my book. Joey Cantillo, again, has seen his struggles. And then Tanner Bybee has seen his struggles as well. I mean, has allowed the same amount of runs as Logan Allen, 6 homers. So the homer bug is still plaguing him. He's a really tricky puzzle to try to figure out. What we saw out of this starting rotation last year, I'll offer some positivity so that we can make this a little bit of a positive sandwich, because we know that there are issues going on. But we know that this team last year did not start out great from the pitching standpoint. And every month it got better and better. So that seems to be, hopefully, the pattern that develops this year. You would rather them start bad and end good than start good and end bad. That being said, there are some problems with some guys in this rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say Tanner Bybee is frustrating, right? Last year, I think that he got thrust into the ace role, the start, your number one pitcher, when Bieber wasn't back. And so they made Bobby number one, and gave him, they gave him a contract extension, and he just, for whatever reason, whether it was a psychological thing or otherwise, he wasn't the same pitcher he was the year before. By the end of the year, he started to figure some things out, as did pretty much the entirety of the rotation. They all got it together, as you referenced. They started off slow but picked it up by the end. They had to make up for the fact that one of the guys in our rotation was, involved in rooster fighting, and had to go step away from the game to tend to his roosters. Slade Ciccone, an amazing acquisition to the rotation last year that we got in the offseason, and he came over and was just fantastic. And Cantillo, we've seen him glimmers here and there, and Messick, we'll just have to wait and see. But Gavin Williams, arguably, and I don't know if it's a good argument or a bad argument, I think he might be the best pitcher in the rotation.
I don't know that it's an argument.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'll let Taven, Nate, you guys take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this.
Go ahead, Taven.
Yeah, if you look at this, I mean, obviously, in my opinion, I think Gavin Williams is your one. Bybee, you're 100% right. He was thrown into that A spot last year, and I think that kind of got to his head maybe a little bit. And he obviously didn't have the results that we wish he would have last year. But obviously, in my opinion, I still see the potential in Bybee. I mean, let's not think just about last year. 2 years ago, I mean, Bybee was really, really solid for this team, and we've seen the type of pitcher he is even last year in certain games. We've seen the type of guy he is. I still believe in Tanner Bybee. Do I think he's an ace? Absolutely not. But I do think that he's a really solid number three when he's on, number two when he is on, and we just have to see that this year. I think he will rebound from last year, from the spring, hopefully. He's just working on some stuff, figuring it out. But
let me throw a name out there to you guys. Let me throw a name out there of a guy who we once thought would be an ace because he had a great one season or a great World Series and playoff run, and never quite amounted to what we had hoped. Jarrett Wright.
That's true. I knew exactly where you were going with that too.
Yeah, Jarrett Wright. Okay, great. I hope that Tanner Bybee is not a repeat performer, a repeat Jarrett Wright, but
Wright felt like he just got worse every year.
And Bybee is just a mess out there sometimes, and you never know what you're going to get. That's an issue. Man.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's an issue with that guy. I have no idea what to expect from these fellas, and that's the scary thing. The Guardians are quite the conundrum.
And
that's all. That's the best way to put it.
I think Bybee's number one enemy is the long ball. I mean, I don't think there's any arguments there, especially what Nate said. I think it's definitely that home run, and I don't think he's able to, rebound or shake that off once he gives up the long ball. I think he just gets in his own head after that ultimately implodes, whether that's the first or the sixth inning. It always seems to be one of those.
Yep.
Now, depending how much stake you put into spring training, this might not mean a lot. However, this is what he's done during the spring. He's pitched 23 innings, okay? He's allowed 32 hits. That's a lot of hits.
Yeah.
20 runs, 17 earned, and 6 home runs, okay? But now, he has not walked a single batter, and he's struck out 19 batters.
So he's hitting the strike zone. He's hitting the strike zone, but sometimes he's hitting the fat part of the plate. Is that what you're saying, essentially? That's a great conclusion to draw. My conclusion to draw was that, look, he's got every other tool. He finds the zone. He can make hitters chase. He's got some nasty pitches, but he hangs some of his breaking stuff way too much. A lot of times his fastballs are way too meaty, and I think baseball fans are going to know what I mean when I say that, and just allows a lot of contact.
So if Tanner Bybee can figure out a way, I think, to pitch around contact while keeping the hitters to chase, which can be a hard balance to find,
For sure.
I think you've got yourself a pitcher that we saw in the year before they gave him this nearly $10 million deal.
Right. And so here's the
Per year
thing
deal.
Right. The thing that you say there, Nate, that draws a pause from me is this. If you're going to get paid a number one pitcher money, this shouldn't be a matter of I've got to figure it out and figure out and be more consistent. Like either you're an ace or you're not.
Well, and that's what you got to hope with Gavin Williams. So the reason that I had switched the names over here is this is the rotation that they're going to start the season with, I would think. That's just
I would
my
go
projection.
Williams, Taccone, then Bybee.
And I mean,
Which is exactly what I would do too. But what I'm saying is this is probably the way that they will start
absolutely.
it because Tanner Bybee has the game ball on opening night against Seattle.
Another point, though, I mean, do we think, everybody thinks Bybee is the ace, or do we think he just has that role and this team really doesn't have an ace? Like, do we believe that Bybee thinks he's the ace of this team, or do we think Bybee is just the best pitcher in votes' eyes and the best, consensus to be in that ace spot? I mean, that's another question.
That's a great point,
that's so
David.
hard.
That's a great point. And actually, I would go to it's more like he's there by default.
I would say he is. I mean, I don't.
And I
think
think that it's a matter of
he's this ace and this all-star, but I just think he's the best guy that this team has. I mean, definitely last year. Now you can make the argument for Gavin Williams, and I would make that argument. But I think in votes' eyes and everybody else, this is their best pitcher. He has to be that ace spot.
Yeah, or it could be one of those things. I mean, obviously, when you want to get the start of your rotation and your starting series and you come out of this or that or the other, you want your best pitcher at the top. It could also be a matter of, look, we're pitching. We got some decent pitchers. It's going to be sort of by committee. We're not maybe internally, like you mentioned, Taven. Maybe internally they're like Tanner. Gavin. No pressure. Yeah, you're starting, but dude, just go out there and pitch. Don't put a label on it. Go out, pitch, and it'll be all good, and we'll figure out the rest later. And if we get to the playoffs and it's time to name the game one starter or deciding game, and you got to pull somebody, then you kind of know at that point. But maybe internally, like you pointed out and you queried, Taven, maybe they're just simply saying, we're not going to put a label on it, Tanner. You go out, just go pitch. If you start, great. Don't worry about it. But what it might get from the UK pointed out, didn't Bybee, that's right, didn't he get sick before the opener last year?
That's because his pregame ritual, at least as far as my knowledge was, I don't know if it still is, he would have Chipotle the day before every start.
I remember it was food poisoning.
Oh my
Because he would eat Chipotle the day before every start. He got food poisoning from Chipotle.
All right, we won't slander the Chipotle. We'll just allegedly there was.
Look, I love Chipotle.
So do I just don't want us to get in trouble. I don't want us to get in trouble for anything. We're just going what was reported. Allegedly, it was reported.
If any representative from Chipotle is watching this, you can send me another 2-for-1 entree coupon. That'd be pretty cool.
2-for-1 wait, I hope you're splitting that with somebody else, Nate. You're eating 2 entrees? Or are you saving it for leftovers? This is a very important discussion here.
We have dinner one night and then lunch the next day.
Okay, so you're not eating it in one sitting.
No.
It's okay.
No.
You're
No.
human. You're human after all.
Sometimes.
Did you get the big arch yet?
No, I have not.
I want to
good?
hear. I haven't. No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't go.
Okay.
If I want to get a half-pound burger, I'll go to Wendy's.
Or I'll drive to Columbus and go to Thurman Cafe. I'll gladly wait 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I'll go to a real place.
There is your bullpen, and I do have to extend because we have a final spot warning here in the bullpen. So here is your bullpen as far as we are aware right now.
What, Nate or David? What you're cringing over there? What's wrong?
It looks really bad on paper. I haven't seen it yet on paper. This looks rough.
Well,
So
Armstrong was a recent, pickup in
Yeah.
the offseason, so
And
maybe he'll be
Smith,
all right.
But after that,
Well, so
Read
this
it
is
off.
what you have to think about, right? You have to think that, look, they're going to give Colin Brogdon a shot. They're going to give Peyton Paulette, the Rule 5 draft pick, a shot. Who knows how much longer Matt Festa is going to ride out in this
And-
bullpen. You're going to have Hunter Gaddis and Andrew Walters get back at some point. They are guys that you cannot keep out, period. You cannot keep out. So 2 of these guys are gone, and we'll have a discussion later on here in about, I assume, 5 minutes about, do you give it to Colby Allard? Do you give it to Connor Holderman? Where do they go with this final bullpen spot?
Wait, you
Or
got
do they
names
pick-
mixed up here, bud. It's Connor, just FYI, because I was confused. I was like, wait, no, it's Connor Brogdon, Colin
Connor.
Holderman. Connor
Okay.
and
Connor
Colin.
Brogdon.
They're the 2 C's. You can just call them Brogdon and Holderman, and we'd be all right with that. It's okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
So yeah, let's start with what we know. We know that Cade Smith is going to close, and I would assume at this point, Tim Herron or Sean Armstrong, I'd probably lean Armstrong is going to be your setup guy.
I don't trust some of those other dudes. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. One, I absolutely know that I do not trust Matt Festa.
Fly ball Festa. Don't trust
He could
that.
be,
Nope.
you know what? He's like a Ford Fiesta or a Ford Festiva. He's fixed or repaired daily. He's found on road dead. I want nothing to do with that. Heron, he was off and on, sometimes. I didn't dislove him. Is that a word? I'm making up words now, but it's this is not good. Taven, I'm with you. I am starting to get a little worried as I look at this
yeah.
in front of me, and I'm like, uh-oh, what is this?
This is why I brought up the point that, look, like, you can look at this bullpen now and think, okay, there are a lot of guys that, like, you just aren't sure about, right? We don't know what Connor Brogdon's going to be for this team. We don't know what Peyton Paulette's going to be for this team. We don't know what Eric Sabrowski is going to be for this team off injury. And you don't have Hunter Gaddis, who's a sure thing. You don't have Andrew Walters, who, even with the injury, is a pretty sure thing. So this becomes a tricky conversation to have because Smith is going to be good. I think Armstrong is going to be good. Heron had his moments of weirdness last year.
But I felt pretty decent with him. I always felt pretty decent with Tim Heron.
I never did.
No, well, look, I trust him more than I trust Festa.
See, I would say I would put Sabrowski over Tim Heron.
Well, Sabrowski, I don't have a problem with Sabrowski.
I think Sabrowski's been fine. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think I trust about 3 guys in this pen, and it's Cade Smith, Sean Armstrong, and Eric Sabrowski. Outside of those guys, I mean, it's a lot of uncertainty with your Holdermans and Brogdons and Paulette because we just haven't seen them pitch yet. Who knows what they could bring? But I mean, guys like Allard and Festa they've just been bad. I mean, there's no way of putting it else. I think they've just been pretty bad in this bullpen, and Heron's been shaky. So,
yeah, but at least they're not James Karinchak.
I love Karinchak.
Are you serious, dude?
See, that was my guy in 2019.
My issue was I couldn't watch him. I think if I was listening, I might have been okay, but to actually watch that guy and his pre-pitch ritual and all
that was the best part. And then he'd strike somebody out and go absolutely nuts off the mound.
No, I watching the herky-jerky ticks of him, I was like, what on earth
it's the closest thing to Rick Vaughn we'll ever see.
Hey, give him the heater, Ricky. Give him the heater. I don't know. How about we go with the old number 1? Have you guys watched Major League in anticipation of the season?
Not yet, but I plan
to.
to.
Before, yeah.
I think it was on the other. It was on the other night. And I keep hearing the thing that they talk about, Wesley Snipes and the character Willie Mays Hayes, and they showed those different scenes in slow motion because he was that slow. He is that slow that they had to do slow motion to make it appear and come up with some effects. That's hilarious to me. That's absolutely hilarious.
So, friends, let's have a discussion of where this final spot is going to go, because at least what it seems to me, this might not be reality again, this is a projection. What it seems to me is it's Colby Allard or Colin Holderman for that final spot. Maybe Connor Brogdon's being considered for that final spot, and Allard and Holderman are already in. where do we sit with how many guys they're going to take in this bullpen? Because again, you know that Gaddis is going to be here sooner rather than later. You know Walters is going to be here eventually, I would assume by midway point of the season, if not sooner. So where do you and lie with where the final spot in the bullpen is? I mean, who rounds this thing out for you?
I'm out on Holderman. I just looked at his stat line. I'm out. Nine innings, 9 earned runs. Adios. Sayonara means goodbye.
I forget what game it was I turned on. He pitched horrendously. It was really bad. I'll roll the dice on Allard. I mean, it's a familiar face. We saw him last year. There were moments where we saw, some promise out of him. I'll roll the dice with Allard. I mean, I don't think either of these guys are going to, be there for the long go per se, especially with Gaddis coming back.
Yeah, I think so. You mentioned and even a possibility Brogdon being a question mark, or maybe he is. I think Brogdon is in. I mean, he goes 9 in the third innings, allowing 9 hits, three runs, all of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 11. I'm in. He's Brogdon. You're good. You're absolutely good.
Absolutely.
So I think we're good there. But I all I have to do is look at the stat line, and that's enough. That tells the story right there. What have you done? So I'm out on what did I say? Shoot, I can't. My brain is Holderman. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out on him. So
for sure. And Guardians prospect to put out, just real quick on Gaddis. Gaddis pitched minor league spring training game Saturday. Gaddis likely starts the season on the injured list, which he will be. We now know that, but is a short stay as far as everything continues to progress well in his rehab. So looks like nothing too serious here with Gaddis.
And I will tell you guys, Hunter Gaddis himself, his fiance on TikTok, good follow. They've got an awesome, they have an awesome Basset Hound, and I think his name is Walter, and he's awesome.
Before we get into the on-field personnel here off the mound, it just felt like everyone in the organization was getting married this offseason. Everyone was getting married or engaged, it was crazy. I want a stat on that. Is this the most productive? Is this the most productive love off season in baseball franchise history? I want to know that. I think it was.
I think it was. Look, 'tis the season, buddy. They were all registered at Bed Bath & Beyond. Home Depot, maybe.
Look, congratulations to everybody that got married, engaged, or hell, everybody that celebrated it. It felt like 20 people in the organization, took the next step in their relationships. We'll call it that. So I just throwing that out there.
It was something in the water. What? Wait a second. That is going to come up in our next in another segment when we talk about the move of Carter Kieboom and the cash considerations.
Taven, let's take this away right now and let's talk about that now, because let's have a little fun before we talk about this Guardians infield, outfield, and catching. First off, I do want to bring up the point, as Mike just put in, Clase Ortiz no longer getting paid. That does play into the question that we're going to ask. The Guardians have made a trade. Carter Kieboom is gone, traded for cold, hard cash. Some may say there's nothing better than cold, hard cash. However,
Larry Dolan would say, the Dolans would say that. They put it right in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's play a game, right? So they now have, what is it, like $8 million more because Ortiz and Clase can't get paid, and an extra, I don't know, maybe
$5.
Yeah, maybe an extra $500,000 for Carter Kieboom to go back to the Phillies. So let's play a game. Let's say you have $8.5 million. We need a theme song or something, but where is the money going to go? All right, step up. Who wants to guess? Where is the money going? Taven. All right, saw the hand up.
Finish the blue seats.
Oh, no. Oh,
Nate, where did the money go?
All right, here's where the money went. Every stand around the ballpark is now selling the slider dog. Man,
I was going to go with extra sunflower seeds, but now that you mention it, I know that it went for wedding and engagement gift cards.
oh, no, but where is this money going to go? We have an extra $8.5 million.
I don't know. You know, that's a good. There is an actual legitimate question. Does it help the Quan extension? Mike from the UK asked this, and so what do you guys think?
Look, Mike is throwing the laughing emojis in there, and I think for reason being, we all know the way this organization is operated. However, I think that that's a legitimate question.
It's a very good question, honestly. I mean, to be serious, it is a good question. They need to find the money. For what it's worth, I think that Stephen Quan, he's a great fit for this organization. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's at the upper echelon. He's a little bit slightly below that, and we need to keep a guy like that. We aren't going to afford the upper echelon. That's just not happening. Not with this ownership group, not with this revenue sharing model. So if you can keep a guy that you have built like a Stephen Quan, and you drafted and he's come up and done this well, I think you go that extra mile. And if we could, for the love of everything, put some extra guys around him so he's not wore slap out by the end of the year, help the poor kid out, help Jose out, for crying out loud.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's for most of the league, that would be a no-brainer that's where that money would go. But it's sad that we're here talking and debating about it. But I think that's the only real thing that you can do with that money, right? You're never going to go out and get that free agent. Josh Bell was the last one. He didn't work out. So you know the Dolans are going to be scared to ever go out and get a free agent. But that's besides the point, because we're 5 days away. I mean, free agency's done. The only thing that you could possibly do with this money this year is to extend one of your stars, the only one in mind being Quan. I mean, maybe Cade Smith could be another a name out there, but I don't see that happening just yet. It should be a no-brainer with Quan. I think, like you said, a guy that, you know, is a homegrown guy since we got him in the draft. No ego. Everybody loves him. Dude plays hard. I mean, obviously, Jose likes the guy an awful lot. You got to get him help. If you're not going to go out and you're not going to sign an all-star, attempt to keep the one that you have here.
Exactly. It's a known quantity. I figured out where the $8.5 million is going. They had to pay it in legal fees to, I think it was Tim Misney. I think he was representing Mustard in the hot dog races last year. There was a lot of controversy. Legal fees. Just saying. It might have been.
It just,
you know what? I can't believe. Actually, I can't believe it's taken this long to get Tim Misney named on Prospects of the Land.
Yeah,
that's the big shocker to me. And that's the first time in show history that Tim Misney's been named on show.
Thank you.
One last point to go along with that Quan extension too. You're not paying anybody besides Jose. I mean, we just got to throw that out there one more time. You're not paying anybody. You're paying Jose Ramirez, you're paying Tanner Bybee, and that's where the list stops. I mean, third is probably Hedges at $5 million. And what would the Dodgers do to that? They would laugh at that contract.
They probably are. They probably are every day. Now, look, to wrap up the Quan extension, we know that $8.5 million is not going to cut it, right? Like, they're going to look at this $8.5 million, and maybe if they're in a position, they'll look to add at the deadline with that. But that what the hope is that they look at that $8.5 million and think, oh, well, now we get Quan at a discount. And again, that $8.5 million is an arbitrary figure, right? Yeah. But
sure,
if you were looking to extend Quan for $18-20 million a year, you can slice that thing right in half.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great point, and I'm not going to hold my breath. Is my bottom line. I'm just
neither.
I think that all of that, it only sets you up to be disappointed and frustrated. We've talked about this before, but we're not going to let it dampen our spirits for opening day as this campaign gets underway about what might be down the road after this season. We're not going to go down that path. We're going to get ready for opening day.
All right, time to dive on into the position players, the dudes with the bats. What can we expect from the offense? Well, it starts with these three guys right here behind the dish. We just talked about the pitchers. Let's talk about the guys that are going to catch balls and strikes. And this is the easiest position grouping to figure out. It was the easiest position grouping to figure out coming in. It still is. Naylor, Hedges, Fry. Bam, boom, done. Close the case. Those are your three catchers for this year. They're going to put 3 on staff. We know what Austin Hedges is going to give you. Defense with not a lot of bat. We know what David Fry is going to give you. Okay, some pretty solid moments here and there. I find it really hard to believe he's going to duplicate what he did as an all-star in 2024. I just don't think that's going to happen. But he can give you some solid moments. And look, he's a nice guy to throw back there behind the dish, maybe play a little bit of first base. But I think they're primarily going to keep him as a catcher this year if they do play him, or mainly as a DH. But I do want to talk about Bo Naylor. Ethan, you threw your hands up. What's going on there?
I mean, this is make or break for him. I'm going to call it. This is make or break. This is make or break for him. Either poop or get off the pot, bud. And we saw some improvement at the tail end of last year. There were discussions or stories of him maybe receiving some outside hitting help and instruction from one former Cleveland Indian player. And I am hopeful that he can maybe show us more of that. And if he can, then that's wonderful. If not, I'm sorry. We've got to explore other options. Maybe Cooper Ingle.
Yes.
Gets an opportunity. Poor David Fry. I worry about him and his durability. But he can play other positions is the key. And so he's right. If he can DH, but we can put him in the outfield. If we could throw him around. And that's the type of player that the Guardians enjoy having, are those dudes that are Swiss Army knives, and you can kind of utility players, put them here, there, wherever, because that's how we have to play the game, which is that's a whole other thing. But yeah, Bo Naylor, kind of poop or get off the pot, bud. We know what Austin Hedges brings us. I need to see an improvement also in Bo Naylor's defense. Mm-hmm. I was too often frustrated by his defense, and he needs to vastly improve that. If you're going to stink that bad at the plate, you better be at least Austin Hedges good defensively and calling a game too.
Yeah.
And let's look at what he did in the WBC too. I mean, the overall numbers I don't think are going to absolutely scream at you. However, there were some pretty good numbers in there. I mean, hit a 3-run bomb, had a couple of homers, some nice hits, some good timely hitting for Bo Naylor as well. Look, if this is a guy that, again, I'm not asking for him to be Superman here, right? Like if we make him a 230 hitter, maybe 240, I would absolutely take that. That probably means you hit 20 home runs. It probably means you drive in 50 for a guy that probably is going to sit in the bottom of the order. I would imagine no higher than 6th in the lineup at any point this year. Maybe he can move up to 5th. I doubt it. But, for a guy that's going to sit in the bottom of the lineup card most days, if he can develop into that, again, I'm not asking for a lot. It is a little biased that, yes, I want him to break out. I kind of like it for Bo Naylor this year. The timing feels right. It feels like this is the time for him to do it if it's ever going to happen.
It's got to happen.
Has to.
Yep. All right, Taven, throw it back up. Catchers are done. Let's go to the infield and the outfield. Shabba-boom. Here we go. The infield, Rhys Hoskins. We obviously just talked about him a whole lot as a new signing, making the team, and we'll talk about the impact all these guys can bring. Manzardo, Rocchio, Arias Schneemann, and of course the man, J-Ram, Jose Ramirez in the infield. The outfield, Stephen Kwan, Chase DeLauder, Angel Martinez. That's going to be your 1-2-3 punch in the outfield to start on opening day, and then you have one final spot in the infield to determine.
Can you punch me in the face, Nate?
You have CJ Kayfus and you have Stuart Fairchild. That is going to be the likely final spot within this organization. Obviously, Fairchild would fit in as the outfielder, and then CJ Kafis would be sitting right there as either an infielder or outfielder, wherever you wanted to play him. Probably would fit into the outfielder there as well. More likely than not, you'd see him playing a lot of time in right field. There are a lot of talking points here. So, fellas, where do we want to start?
Is Stuart Fairchild, is he a minion? Oh, that's a different Stuart. What am I looking at here? In the regular season last year, 216. 216 and 51 at bats. That's not great numbers there, bud. Not a lot of bats, but not great. 2 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, only, let's see, an OPS of 606. Spring training, 231, a little bit better, but we got to get some outfield punch there, bud. I'm going Kafis. Hook a brother up.
Yeah, I think no debate in my opinion. I think you have to go Kafis, right? I mean, Fairchild reminds me a little bit of Miles Straw, right? Fast outfielder who's going to hit you 215. We've already seen that. We don't need that. CJ Kafis, a lot of upside. I mean, we raved about him all last year throughout the minor leagues. Came up, big leagues. Wasn't what he was in the minors, but I mean, we saw a lot of potential with him, especially certain weeks. I think that first week he got up, he absolutely killed it. So my opinion, you go Kafis, no brainer at all there, and add to another utility guy. Say you'd need, for whatever reason, him to slide into that first base slot. Maybe a lot of pinch runners going a game, extra innings. He could do the infield too. So just another bonus there.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I like CJ Kafis for that final spot. Although I'm not going to absolutely deplore having Stuart Fairchild up as an experienced piece, but then is that the Nolan Jones experiment all over again, right? You have to, that question just begs to be asked. Let's start by talking about the infield here, because we know who's going to play third. It's J-Ram. We know who's going to be your middle infield tandem. It's Arias and Rocchio. And then Manzardo has got to play more often than not at first base. Rhys Hoskins, you'll see him play some first. You'll see him used as a DH. But I want to focus on Rhys Hoskins, and let's clarify why he was brought in to the organization. For Rhys Hoskins to be a productive signing to this team, he's got to be that power guy that comes into the lineup every now and again, can provide some punch. 20 to 25 home runs, I think, would be very nice.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know what else. I mean, I think you hit. I mean, that's what he has to be. We've got to get some pop in the lineup, one way or another. I mean, you look at him as I try and kind of get some stats here. What is his best season in terms of home run? I mean, this guy has been in the league. He has definitely had his time. So he's seasoned. He's a seasoned veteran. Early in his career, I mean, you're talking 286 his rookie year. Now, again, this is in a very small sample size. And really, most of these, it says a very small sample size. Philadelphia, 11 games, 21 at bats. So 286 is not. Okay, never mind. Take that argument off the table. This guy, how has he been in the majors this long? And had that. He's only played in 140 games. And he's been in the league since 2017. Are we serious?
He's a guy that can bring you some good upside. There's no doubt. But obviously,
okay, so we're going based upon the potential, is what the Guardians are like. Look, he's a value. We're shopping at Discount Drug Mart. We're shopping at TJ Maxx, and we're not going to heading over to Macy's. Is this what we're saying?
Rhys Hoskins will be that DH a lot this year.
Okay,
I mean a lot. He might be in the lineup nearly every day. He'll probably, if healthy, play 125 games this year.
We need to see it. We need to see some numbers and get and extrapolate what his best best years were. We've got to see some power, ability to knock dudes in. Again, this is shaping up. We are looking at this lineup and we are talking about it, fellas. And I'm having horrible flashbacks and nightmares of poor Jose Ramirez having no support around him, and pitchers aren't going to give him squat to hit. He still manages to do it, but this is what a thankless position.
So now you got to have the conversation of Arias and Rocchio, right? Because we need those guys. Well, you can have a conversation with really anybody in this infield, maybe besides Daniel Schneemann, because he's kind of there. He's doing his thing. And, Daniel Schneemann's going to be a solid piece for you. But Kyle Manzardo, dude, we got to stop with the strikeouts. We got to be more disciplined at the plate. And look, still bring that home run power in the spring. He's got 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. That's pretty solid stuff right there. But you got to cut back on the strikeouts. You've got to get on base more. His on-base percentage in the spring is sitting below 250. That's just not going to cut it for a guy that we traded for the upside of, hey, you're going to be the future at first base.
Well, right. And didn't they compare him, or hasn't he been compared to Wade Boggs?
Yeah,
okay.
No, you're not crazy.
I remember that correctly. All right. Wade Boggs got on base. That guy was a hit for average. And Manzardo, I don't know what he's doing. Why doesn't he go back to that? I want Pop in the lineup as much as anybody. But if we're not even getting guys on base, it's useless. It's What do we play best? Guards ball.
Yep.
Guards ball. We win in a disgusting manner, in disgusting fashion that nobody likes. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. You get guys from station to station, and you get them home. And then you rely on your pitching to close it down. And right now, I'm about to have a panic attack. Looking at this roster and discussing this opening day roster is driving me nuts here. And no, I don't know what's going to happen going forward. I mean, look, we're going to talk about the infield, and we talk about Arias a little bit, and probably when Bazana comes up, I think Mike's probably right. You think Arias is going to be the odd man out there? I think Rocchio is pretty safe, but do you think Gabby would be the odd man out?
So, in my opinion, I think obviously it's going to be Gabby or Rocchio for that spot to slide Bazana in. I think Bazana is going to go straight to second once he gets up.
So then you move Rocchio over to short?
Yeah. Are you going to slide Rocchio over to short, or is Gabby the odd man out? In my opinion, I think Gabby's the odd man out. I think
so too.
More stake in Rocchio. I think they like him a little more. And has Gabby's bat really been that much better than Rocchio's? I would argue not much.
No, and we've seen where Rocchio can lock in. We've seen playoff Rocchio, and he's pretty darn good.
Yep.
We know defensively he's going to be solid. But yeah, I am honest to goodness, guys, just starting to have nightmares. And as I look at this lineup and wonder, how are we going to score runs? And how is it possible that this is our roster?
Well, so again, it's because of the money thing. We've hit that on the head before. I'll just reiterate what you guys have said because there's no need to add more onto it. When it's time for Bazana to come up here, which will happen this year, then it's Gabby Arias that's going to be the odd man out, unless Brian Rocchio has got one of his weird things going on. But, in the infield, you look at Rocchio and Arias, I don't believe either one of them have an option left. So someone is gone, and maybe gone down to Columbus or gets picked up by somebody else. Now in the outfield, Steven Kwan, Angel Martinez are not surprises. But Ethan, I know you're like, oh, this really scares me. Look at who's going to be starting in the outfield this year. One of the prayers have been answered, and it's Chase DeLauder. He's here, and he's ready to go.
Thank goodness. Get him out there before something stupid happens. I swear to God, it's like the episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns and the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant gets a whole bunch of ringers, and they all have these crazy accidents and can't be there to play, including but not limited to, let's see, who was having to save everybody from the fire and carry all this stuff. I don't know if that was Canseco. I think, let's see, Ken Griffey Jr. drank all this tonic and his head exploded and it was gigantic and stuff. The only person who's left is there. But my point being, I'm so glad to see that in this projection that DeLauder's up. We need him to be out there and playing and healthy. And he is such talent. And the prospect of what he could be is there. We need to have an opportunity. And for crying out loud, don't waste any more time. Have him out there.
And if you want to bring some pop to this lineup, this is the outfield is going to do it. Steven Kwan obviously is not going to provide pop, but he is going to get on base. Struggling a little. Well, even that he's hit 2 home runs in the spring. So maybe Quanner's found a little bit of that.
Is it in the vortex? Right field line.
Right,
Vortex.
Right. Angel Martinez has had one of the best spring trainings out of any Guardians member. Yeah, he's not driving in a lot of runs, but the strikeout count is low, has hit 4 home runs, and is hitting 350. Pretty good in my book. And then, again, you throw CDL in there. 420. Guys, he's 15 of 35 when he plays. 15 of 35. He is raking at the plate. And I know he's only got 1 homer, the jam shot where he just kind of threw the bat at it with T-Rex arms and it cleared the wall. I mean, if that's the 1 home run that he's hit in the spring, we'll go through some projections here in a little bit, or maybe a surprise number, but a pretty decently high home run count wouldn't surprise me for CDL this year.
I love it.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, obviously, he's just got to stay healthy, but we've seen what he can do. And, I mean, we were watching one of the spring training games. They were just talking about how he just throws the bat at it, like Nate said, with T-Rex arms. That's just straight power. Like, you can't teach that. That's just power.
It's called the man got in the weight room and put on the plates.
Think about some of our hitters that we had in the past that were just Herculean, and they hurt the ball. They hurt the ball.
Albert Bell.
Oh,
Hedges.
AB. Hedges. How about, like Travis Hafner. Prom. That guy could jack the ball.
Yeah. Jim Thome clearing Jacobs Field at the time.
Oh my goodness. Why? How? This is what, I think this is where we get into trouble as Cleveland baseball fans. And it makes you kind of sad because you know that, again, some of those guys were homegrown talent. A number of them, Manram, homegrown talent. Thome was homegrown talent, right? AB was for sure.
Believe so, yeah.
I believe those dudes were all homegrown talent. Why can we not find those players anymore? Because it's crazy to me that we haven't had anybody like that in so long.
I would say the closest thing that we've had to that from a homegrown standpoint would be Santana, and he didn't really kill the ball ever.
No.
I mean, he would get you 25 home runs a year.
Yeah, but I'm talking of who was our last guy that you could consistently count on like 40 jacks?
Nobody. I mean, you had
not in the past 20 years.
Look,
yeah, but he wasn't home. Right.
And look, if I may interject here, you can't even count on Jose Ramirez to do that every year because 40 home runs is insane.
Yeah,
it is. And Josh Naylor had, in theory, he had some power, but he was here at least. It was erratic at times.
40 home runs power though.
No, it was erratic, and his inability to be disciplined at the plate and the fact that he couldn't keep his helmet on were kind of a problem. You have to work hard. Too much hair. But yeah, in all seriousness, like I said, that's a situation where we look back at Cleveland baseball at a time when they were able to develop them. And even after that, guys, you talk about an Edwin Encarnacion, someone they brought in. And I might have brought this out previously, but we brought in a David Justice. We brought in a Juan Gonzalez. We brought in Travis Fryman. How about Matt Williams at third base? Look at these guys we brought in and they could crush it. You could count on those guys. What in the world is going on? I don't think that it was a matter of Dick Jacobs having that much more money. I just don't get it. And don't tell me it's all about attendance dollars. Yes, I know they got on a run there with 400 and what is it? I can't remember, 450. What was the exact number? How many straight sellouts? You know where I'm going with it. But 400 plus straight sellouts in the mid 90s.
It's not that. I mean, they're gonna give you every excuse in the book about why they're not spending money. If it comes down to the fact that they don't want to spend the money. I mean, we've seen Pittsburgh, right? They're above $100 million payroll. They probably maybe had 10 sellouts the entire year last year.
Oh, and they have been horrific. And they have been horrific. It's sad. It's quite sad. So I don't know. I'm gonna stop bemoaning the point and let us move on.
Well, fellas, you see what I'm doing now. It is time to. We've already projected the starting rotation. So now, fellas, it's time to project this opening day lineup. Who is going to start where for the Cleveland Guardians this year? Now, one, I think we all know is easy, right? Can we pen him in?
Now, is he playing in left or center?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because we know he's going to get time in center this year.
All right.
We know that.
Yeah, and Stephen Vogt mentioned that.
I'll kick this off. I think he should start in left field.
Okay. Where's left field? We obviously also know who's going to be hitting 3.
Yep.
We do. And playing third base and hitting third, Jose Ramirez.
I think we also know who's going to be batting cleanup, right, fellas?
Yep.
We know that to be true. Okay, what else can we pen into this lineup here?
Ooh. Can you slide up real quick just so I can get a refresher of the names?
Well, we're talking about, let's see. So I think CDL's going. If he's got a little bit of power, I'd put him 5. I put CDL 5.
Really? I was going to go Reese at 5.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, if he's the DH.
Well, so here's what else I will pen in, right?
Bo Naylor at 9.
Nope.
No, Rocchio at 9.
Okay.
That's
and I would
because
say Bo Naylor
because they
at 8.
like him. That's because they like him in that 9 spot. I'm not penning in Naylor at 8 because of his WBC. So here's the guys to where I think are gonna finish out this start, right? So you obviously have CDL.
Yep.
Okay. We have to find a spot for Reese. We have to find a spot for Bo. We have to find a spot for Gabby, and we have to find a spot for Angel. So that's going to be your opening day lineup. The question is,
who goes
where do they go?
I would say Angel on that 2 spot.
Yep, I agree. I concur. And Mike from the UK points out Travis Hafner, 2006, last guy we had at 40 home runs, 42.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
20 years, guys. 20.
So you're going Angel at 2.
I agree.
I would say. He's got the most speed and contact from the list below.
Here's my only counteraction to that point. If you put Angel at 2, so let's just go through this exercise right now. I would imagine you probably put Martinez in center if you put Quan in left.
Yep.
And then you have CDL and Reese Hoskins at 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are possibly your best power hitters. You have to have a good, strong middle of the order.
So I would probably say
I would give the edge to Hoskins at 5.
If you're going to do that, I would go Reese Hoskins and then Chase Delauder.
Yep. Perfect.
In left field.
You mean right field?
Sorry, right field, sorry. Yep, in right field.
After that, I think it's a coin flip.
Who cares?
So,
6 and 1/2 dozen the other.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Bo at 7, and I'm going to go Gabby at 8.
I like that, actually.
That's what I would
prefer.
prefer.
It flips the order. So I think that, in theory, Rocchio can be all right. He can be have a decent on-base percentage. And you get him on, you go back to the top of the order, and now you got something. I like the fact 7 actually for Bo Naylor is pretty good. So if you're going to stink and such, all right, great. But at least then there's still a potential of someone getting on base before Quan comes up.
Yep.
Now, fellas, I do have, if you give me 1 second here, actually, I'll just do it live. So I do have a counteraction to this lineup, and I actually am going to make it really fast, and then I'll copy it in here because I want you to see what I was kind of thinking here. I also am cheating a little bit. I do have a projection over here with me, so.
Oh, boo. That's a boo. Come on now.
Well, again, this is not my thing. I am showing you the projection Basically to say, look, like if this was a lineup that we had to strut out there, would you be upset with it? And it does not move around a lot of pieces from what we have. It does change a couple of positions, but
So here's what. So what are you telling me, Nate? You're doing this on the go. Do it live.
Yep, exactly that. So this right here is the lineup that we had come up with.
Okay.
Yep, and this is the lineup that is being projected.
Uh-huh.
You'll notice only one thing changes. Really, one position grouping changes, and it's the outfield.
Yep, I see that.
Yep.
So center for Quan, right, and then they flip over Angel to left. You're
just swapping DeLauder and.
But then going DeLauder
Angel.
hitting second. That's an interesting choice.
And I was gonna, throw that idea out in the beginning. I don't know, not enough experience, maybe, but I could 100% see him hitting second.
If we had to pick between the two lineups, right? Like Stephen Vogt comes to the three of us and is like, all right, boys, I'm in a real big pickle here. I don't know what lineup to go with. And we say to Stephen Vogt, oh, well, you have come to the right people, sir. What lineup would you rather throw out there? Now, you can answer this question one of two ways. You can answer it for what would you throw out there for opening day? Well, honestly, it's what you would throw out there for opening day, because I think you'd find George Valera a spot in this lineup somewhere.
Right, I would.
Which of the two lineups would you, not saying they're going to do, would you prefer them to roll out on opening day? And here, I'll even make one more switch. All right? We'll make one more switch. We'll put,
I like, honestly, I like our lineup.
Yeah.
If we keep things the way they are, I like our lineup. I need CDL's power, but not at 2. Right. I need a on base guy in Angel. I'd like, if we can keep Kwani in left field, I want to keep him in left. I know there's a potential, and I don't mind because he's an amazing outfielder. There's always been question, and we have to wonder about his arm strength, but he's amazing in left field. Why screw that up if you don't have to?
Yep.
So if we can get reasonable play out of Angel in center and CDL in right, I'm loving it. I really like what we've constructed here in our top lineup of Quan, Martinez, Ramirez, Zardo, Hoskins, DeLauder, Naylor, Arias, and Rocchio.
Yeah, I mean, for an opening day lineup, I would go with ours, and maybe they flip Naylor and Arias. Jeremy Larquente pointed out you keep the lefty-righty balance, which, okay, fine. Mike from the UK says he's got a different one. So while we wait for his, I mean, I think these are two very plausible lineups. Very plausible.
Yeah.
Very plausible. Yeah, Mike, send us your lineup if you can in the chat. Would love to see that because it's always good to get differing opinions. And since you're on, sorry, so you're
all
going.
Right, here we go. Taven, take mine away and throw his up.
So, all right. So we've got Juan, DeLauder, Ramirez, Manzardo, Hoskins, Naylor, Arias, Martinez, and Rocchio. So how close was that to the second lineup?
So that moves Martinez from 6 to 8, and it moves. So here, for instance, I'll play it out and see what it does.
Oh, that's what you've seen, Mike. Is that what you would prefer? I mean, do you think is it so? Nate.
But I don't mind this one either, right? So to your point that you had said on record a moment ago, Ethan, it's kind of flipping the lineup because you put Rhys Hoskins up there. That's your power bat. You hope clear the bases and you kind of start over. We hope that Bo Naylor could be a very serviceable guy in that 6 hole, maybe get on base 1 out of every 4 or 5 times in between there. Then you have Gabby Arias, who, okay, let's see what he can do. And then you flip the lineup. You have Martinez, Rocchio, both of those guys get on base. You get Stephen Kwan to come around up top, and it resets you with CDL if you got the bases loaded.
It's not bad.
Would love to have CDL up there. So, look, storm outside. If you
was it a meteor?
No, No. Thank God. Ooh, we haven't talked about that yet. If we had to go with this new age thing of, look, putting a guy that can hit in the 9-hole is starting to become more of a trend. The Guardians are hopping on that with Rocchio given his potential. If Rocchio can perform and doesn't have this weird midseason slump that he has every single year, and then you have Angel Martinez who, hey, we know how he can produce, right? I mean, putting him at the 8-hole might feel like a little bit of a tack on the seat to him, but it gives you an opportunity to flip the lineup. And look, if you get one guy on base and you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first 2 innings, you start inning 3 with Martinez, Rocchio, and Kwan, and you're still in some good business.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad, Mike. I like it.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff there. Last thing, because we didn't really talk about it much, so let's hit on it for like 30 seconds each. How do we feel about Kwan possibly getting some time in center? Ethan, you've kind of already said a little bit, and what we have said on the show before, and I will reiterate for the 3 of us, it inherently makes him more expensive as soon as he gets that call to play center. I'll do a better snap, but bam, like that. As soon as he gets into center field, more expensive immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big concern. Benefit, you can go back and forth.
Yeah, I don't want to. If we can find somebody who is actually good in center field, they don't have to be Kenny Lofton good. They don't have to be. Oh, geez, I can name some of the other guys. Like Grady Sizemore, he was in center field.
Yep.
Oh, geez, I'm thinking some of the other guys we've had in past years. My brain is a bit foggy on it. But the point being, we don't need you to be Hall of Fame level there. We need you to be better than average. We need you to be really good out there, be able to direct traffic. I'd love to be able to keep Kwan in left where he's comfortable. We know what he does out there. His glove is amazing. Where that positions him, if he can make some great throws. He's great at it at the outfield assists. I don't want to lose that if I don't have to. But if anybody could do it, I trust him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, right. Obviously, that's been the big question of, do you move Kwan? I don't see a reason to. I mean, the dude's been a Gold Glover in left field. I think they will experiment it because I don't think that the Dolans want to dish out that money to re-sign him. So obviously, his value is going to go up if he's a center fielder.
And that's a great, when you talked about him becoming inherently more expensive, it's a bigger value, the assets.
Bigger draw, bigger assets. You look at, the top guys in the league, they're all outfielders, but the majority of them play center.
Whoa. I'm sorry. We got something going on the outside of baseball right now.
I know. I just turned it on.
What are we talking? How many seconds left? Iowa
3.9
is possibly going to dethrone Florida, the defending NCAA men's basketball champions.
More importantly, would send the National Guard to the Midwest for Nebraska, Iowa in the Sweet 16.
No, that's terrible. Please, Iowa, beat Nebraska. I really don't like your cream-colored uniforms. Those things are the most ugly things I've ever seen. Adidas is terrible.
That game was awesome. Though.
Oh, it was a fantastic game, but can they stop that? I could see right through their cream-colored uniforms to their man bros, or to their man's ears, to the bros. What is the deal? You guys are sports scientists over there. What's the deal with the
Do you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah.
So soccer players wear them a lot because with the material that like athletic material and jerseys are made out of, it can there really is no kosher way to say this, so I apologize. It can make your nipples bleed.
Huh. Interesting.
So I mean, literally, it's like to protect the chest because I mean that happens and it's sore and it's uncomfortable and it sucks. So
maybe they need to get better material. What is it, velvet?
Yeah, 4.5 officially. Friends, I want to float this out there. What time is that game on Thursday?
The Gardos? Well, it's got to be a 10 o'clock game, right?
Yeah, 9:40.
It's going to be really late.
It's going to be a late night.
Oh, boy. I was going to say, if we want to do a little live play-by-play, I'd say we go for it. If we're feeling of staying up that late.
I probably would be up, and I'm all for it. We can talk about it. We can workshop it. I think that'll be good. I do have the subscription to Guardians TV, so I should be able to pull that up on my end.
I have ways to watch too.
Hey, you ain't gonna get any shade from me. Nothing here. No. Oh wait, there it is. Mike says 10:10 Eastern.
Okay.
His first pitch.
Here is what I will do. I will throw up the Guardians schedule, and we can sort of dissect this once more. So
Sure thing. Absolutely.
all right. Also, kind of while we wait for this Iowa-Florida game, because I'm going to see the ending of this. All right, we're just going to use ESPN's
Schedule.
All right. Schedule. I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm now gonna. Did you listen? Okay, there we go. All right. Here we go.
What you got?
All right, here are the first 3 series for your Cleveland Guardians. So, first 3 series, we got 4 on the road to Seattle, 3 on the road to LA. Hang on, here comes Florida up the court. They kick. No, Iowa dethrones the 1 seed.
Wow. That ruins everybody's brackets. Beautiful.
Bam, blow them up. It's okay. I had Houston winning the national championship, so we look good there.
I've got Zona. I think I've got Arizona.
How are the brackets doing?
I think we know who
overall?
I got.
Well, yeah,
No.
you probably
Yours doesn't count.
No, you probably stand a really good chance. I mean, it's kind of amazing, and I know Mike pointed this out earlier. Mike from the UK, in our we were just having a chat talking about how well the Big Ten is playing and performing in the NCAA tournament right now.
Yeah,
kind amazing what they're accomplishing. Kind of crazy, other than the team from Columbus, which stinks. And I'm sorry, Jake Diebler.
Look, here's no. Let's take this away for a second. We'll get back to the Guardians schedule.
I stepped on the hornet's nest.
Buckeye basketball fans are the worst fans in the entire country because they all come over from football season in January, look at the rankings, and if we're not top 15, say, everything sucks, fire everybody, let this guy go.
Wait,
everybody transfer.
Nate, can I give you a counter to that?
I saw that on somebody said that on Barstool. I 1000% agree. But continue.
All right, but can I throw something to you guys?
Sure. Absolutely.
In my oldness, Ohio State has always been solid. I mean, they are far better at football now than they were when I'm talking like the 90s, right? Under John Cooper. But they had some very good teams. Of course, they would always go up to Michigan or they'll spend the last game of the year losing and not going to the Rose Bowl. But during those days, you had top tier basketball teams that were competing for the Big Ten championship and potentially a national championship. Even with Thad Matta, the team was competing for the Big Ten title, and they were ranked in the top 10 all year long. The recruiting stinks. When our best guy might not even start on one of these other top teams, that's where you've got an issue. You mean to tell me you don't have enough NIL money that you can't attract people there to play basketball? I've got questions about the recruiting. And that's all I'm saying. They have to be better. They got to get better. I'm glad they made a run. I'm glad they were in as an 8 seed. I think that was a bit over the top. I don't think they deserved an 8 seed, to be quite frank. I love the players, and you're right about the fans. Now, I'm not talking about fans, but I think if the team was on a better level to start the season and you felt confident that they were going to be competing for a Big Ten championship, which is what the expectation should be, then you wouldn't have that question of fire everybody, they stink. That's just an opinion, but I hear what you're saying, and I can't argue that, Nate.
I think looking at what the program is now, I know what the program used to be, right?
Right.
Look at Thad Matta, played for a national title, went to numerous Final Fours, had players like David Lighty, John Diebler, Aaron Kraft. I mean, just legends, right? Legends.
And those guys weren't even like NBA stars, but they were college legends. I mean, heck, your best NBA players from those eras was really Mike Conley.
Yeah. Mike Conley. Would have been Greg Oden, and the unfortunate thing that unfolded with him. Jared Sullinger was solid in the NBA for a couple of years. So
he was very good.
What the fans have got to realize is this program took a step forward, and Bruce Thornton leaving is going to hit hard. Now the leading scorer in program history, but you're bringing in the 5-star McDonald's All-American, top 10 recruit Anthony Thompson. The Jake Diebler has been on a recruiting tear. He really has been.
All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Nate, you're closer to the situation than I am, so I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's wait and see. I'm sorry. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into something because, Taven, you do such a great job of covering high school sports, especially in Stark County and in the vicinity. Massillon. Yeah. Massillon Tigers win D2?
D2 first time ever they've won a state championship for boys basketball.
That's incredible.
Crazy,
I saw that. I mean,
25 state championships in football and never once basketball.
Yeah.
They haven't even gotten there in the last 81 years.
That's unreal. So I apologize for taking us off course. And I don't want to get us diverted too much. Should we go back to the schedule?
Yes, let's do it. Again, 4 games against Houston, 3 against LA, 3 against Chicago. And honestly, if you look at, the start here, they kick off with 10 games against playoff teams that won 90 games last year. So this is going to be a brutal start to the season. And I think what fans have got to realize right from the get-go is this. If this team starts the year 2-8, 3-7, 2-8, 3-7, just hang on because it's going to get better and easier. You have Kansas City. Who knows what Atlanta's going to be? The Cardinals are terrible. We'll see if Baltimore can get it figured out. Then there's Houston, which, by the way, this stretch right here of Baltimore and Houston, I think is their longest homestand of the year.
Oh, that's disgusting. Please tell me that's not true.
Well, so I remember looking at the schedule the other day, and they don't have road trips longer than a week. They don't have homestands longer than 1 week. So
I don't hate that.
The Guardians are going to have to play some very good baseball, both at home and on the road. But friends, when we focus on this start, speak to what I just spoke on. Look, Guardians fans, if this team starts 2-8, 3-7, do not wave the white flag. Don't throw out the entire season. This is a really tough start. Really tough.
I would say, just looking at the schedule, I was talking about this earlier, if you can somehow escape this first 2.5 weeks with a 500 record, that would that would be like going 10-1.
It'd be massive.
The teams that you're playing, and some of these guys having the slow starts that they do with, we've seen from Bybee in the spring and guys of that nature. If you can get out just 500 should be just the clear-cut goal. It probably won't happen, but if it does, take that as a massive win.
I'd be ecstatic if they go somehow salvage 3 and 4 on the opening road trip. Somehow salvage 3 and 4, because we're talking about Seattle. They went to extra innings in the decisive game against Toronto. Am I recalling this correctly? It was a
I don't know if it was extras in the decisive game, but there was the 18 inning.
Okay. Yeah. It was a battle with Toronto to go to the World Series, and you've got Los Angeles, the defending the back-to-back defending World Series champions.
Yep.
And then Chicago is going to be tough as well. But again, starting out on the road, if we can manage to go 3 and 4, sneak one out in LA and 2 in Seattle, ecstatic if we could pull that off. And then you never know what's going to happen at home. Heck, we might have we might have to call a game due to a meteor.
You could rename the fellas, Taven, I never asked for a number this early because we're not quite ready to wrap up yet. But what's the number we're at today? There's a reason I'm doing this.
At 25.
So to all 25 of you out there watching, potentially come back Thursday night. You will see a tweet about it a day in advance if we decide to get it done.
Yep.
And definitely come back Sunday night. We'll talk about Guardians baseball up until that point, do a little live 3-man call of the Seattle Mariners game, and do a little bit of a lead up to the minor leagues. Does that sound good to you fellas? Next Sunday, for sure. We'll do a little live play-by-play of the
What time
Seattle
is
Guardians.
what time is the game is on?
That
on
one's
Sunday?
at 7:20.
All right. I will, if I am there, I will be there. For those of you who don't know, and maybe you should know, in Cleveland sports, I know we're not talking about this because we're talking baseball here. The Cleveland Crunch are on their way to the playoffs in Las Vegas. It's the Major League Indoor Soccer. The playoffs start. They are Saturday night, the semifinals. They will be taking on last year's champion, Amarillo. And that's a rematch of the championship match last year where Cleveland fell in overtime as it was hosted at the Wolstein Center. The Crunch will, if they were to win on Saturday night, because it's in the Pacific time zone. That would be it's 9 p.m. Pacific, and I believe the Sunday game would be at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. I'll double check it here, but I will whatever I can do to be a part of what we're doing.
Say, Taven and I can absolutely do that call, and obviously we've done the minor leagues forever. So
absolutely, I will be here and do whatever I can. But
you show up if you can.
Absolutely,
Look,
and
playoffs are more important here, always. Doesn't matter the sport. Playoffs are more important.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be a chance for Cleveland to get another championship. I know some people don't look at soccer in the same realm as the other sports, but hey, it's a championship, and a championship is a championship in a city like Cleveland, where we don't get them that often.
Can we get a soundbite of Mike Breen going Cleveland is a city of champions once again?
That would be amazing if we could. I mean, let's see. Yeah, Mike says he's available. This guy really is available for all 162 games.
Yeah, just wake up at 3 a.m. and you're good.
He does. He watches every game. The guy is committed.
I watch every game in some capacity.
Right, but he's also 5 hours ahead of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so
that is commitment.
Yeah.
He is like the best fan I know.
Well, look, man, I bet afternoon games got to feel like a breath of fresh air for him.
They really are. Yeah, you get that 110 first pitch. You got to be loving life there. No, that is.
He can get his nice steak dinner and a cocktail on a Sunday night and just pot up with guards ball. That just sounds awesome.
Dude, that is good.
That sounds like a Friday night over here. What would be a Sunday night over there? So.
Well, yeah. Well, we will. He said he hates afternoon games. Okay. All right. Fair enough. You can't.
Mike is a night owl. Mike would rather sleep during the day.
It's not a bad idea. Could I sleep during the day? I don't think work would like it, but maybe I could. Look, if we could do Thursday, I will carve out the time. I will sit here and I'll be with you.
Well, at least Taven and I will be on for Sunday. Ethan Greenberg joining to be determined. We root for the best with the Crunch. And then we'll look forward to possibly Thursday night. Possibly Thursday night might be in for a late night, but I'll do it with you boys. We'll thug it out.
All right. I love it. I do love that.
Taven, has the number gone up at all? We chilling around at 25 here?
Just chilling.
All right.
We're gonna have to. You know what? Who's going out in the clown outfit? And that's what these guys. We're gonna need to start rounding up some lots of people, because I think that what you guys bring, especially, the knowledge and the understanding of the game of baseball and this system and this team is hard to match. And really always appreciate all the people who listen and tune in. Always appreciate our guy Mike, from the UK with every podcast, Cleveland-based podcast. He is involved. And I know I'm here mostly as that clown. So maybe I guess I'm the one who's going to be out in the clown outfit, trying to bring in a few more viewers. But I think we've got some great potential, and definitely we will have some fun stuff going on this season. This is going to be, and I'm looking forward to the minor league season with you fellas and really digging into that so that I'm a little more in the know. And we're going to have to.
Minor leagues are awesome, man.
Yeah, it's
They
very
are awesome.
Go to the Hill City Howlers. We're going to.
Yeah. And again, if you are willing to make a drive, get out to a Howlers game. I will be the Clipper rep, and Taven, you've got the Captains and Ducks.
Oh yeah.
So
Should be a good time.
if we can get out to some games, we're going to get out to some games. So they will be some good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to close up shop and maybe have a slice of pie and then get to bed.
That's kind of tough eating that so much lately. Yeah.
I'm 23. I can manage.
You're lucky. You're fortunate there. And Taven, you're fortunate as well. Did we just what? Hello? Taven?
I think we lost Nate.
I think he froze. Like all of a sudden that hum went like what happened here? Did StreamYard just take a dump again?
I've got no clue. Nate probably does this once every other stream.
All right. Well, we're doing good. No, honestly, I think that there's a lot to be learned about the minor league system that people don't know about, and that's why it's such a great program that you've already put together and do a fantastic job of covering all that. And there he is. There,
you can ignore the text. You can ignore the text that I just sent. I thought that the storm outside had knocked me out, but we got back.
That was earlier in the week. That was the meteor. Do you know we actually had an earthquake on Friday evening in the Richmond, Virginia area?
Really?
I didn't feel it. We were we were out and stuff. I don't know how much it was felt, but I'm like, what is going on? Are we at the end of times, fellas? You know when the end of times is going to be? The next meteor is going to strike as like the Browns are about ready to win a Super Bowl.
When Hedges gets a hit.
Well, that's a possibility as well. We could have a whole game of when will the next meteor strike? What catastrophic event will happen as a Cleveland franchise is about to achieve something?
Guardians win a World Series instead of the rain delay. It's a meteor shower.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you, Taven? Did you go searching for any pieces of the meteor?
I did not.
That's probably why.
They were in, where were they? Medina County?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I've seen pictures of them. Some people got like big ass, like
were they real? Were they real? I heard there was some question about some of them possibly being
some of
AI
them, yeah. But I've seen the ones that are definitely real. Some people got some big chunks.
Hey, me man, I'm here with me main man Buzz Aldrin. What if I told you that the moon was made of cheese? What will you say? Buzz Aldrin. All right, anybody? Ali G? Oh, my.
No, sorry.
He's the same.
Lost it.
I cannot believe nobody knows who Ali G is, man. I mean, Ali G, obviously, we're talking about the same person who is Borat. Yes, smash. This is a Borat.
I thought you were just making fun of Mike. I was about to be like, that's really rude.
No, Ali G was phenomenal. He was like, here with me, my man from the F, and I forget what his name, who was, but from the FB. And he messes with me, king of messes with me. Fantastic. Love that guy. So we could talk about what did the moon, hey, what if the moon was made of cheese? Would you eat it? Delicious.
No.
A hot dog.
Because that's a hunk of frozen cheese that's been in the sky for billions of years.
Oh, so it's a delicacy. It's aged.
Sure. I don't know what aging a cheese for a billion years would do. Maybe that's something someone is starting the experiment now.
Penicillin.
We've just told someone, get to the cheese factory.
Oh, you get to the cheese factory. Oh, I'm gonna get over there, you wee
We
lad.
must start this aging process now.
Beautiful. We have gone off the rails, guys.
What else is new with POTL?
Nothing. I love it.
Taven, get us out of here. Let us go to bed.
Well,
Let them go to bed.
yeah, for sure. Well, it's almost 2-hour show. Good one. Good one. Baseball's
That's
back.
okay. You need it. Baseball's back.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Thank God. Well,
I prayed for times like this.
keep it updated with the social. That's at POTL on X, on Instagram. Again, special thank you to Jeremy Laraquente and the Baseball Banter broadcast bringing us in this season. It's going to be a fun one. And
Yeah.
just keep updated with everything. You know, maybe potentially a show Thursday, but definitely back next Sunday. And that's it. That's all we got.
You will see tweets whenever we will go live. You will see tweets.
Sounds like a plan.
Tweets for sure. Well, we appreciate all 25 of you sticking with us tonight. We will see everybody next time, somewhere within the week. Keep you updated.
Peace.